Okay, let's begin at 6:29. We'll start early tonight.
Oh my God, do that. That'd be awesome. Yep.
Would everyone please stand for Pledge Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We should pay attention to what that is, but we don't. Okay, thank you. Julie, could we have roll call, please?
Jim Drolet,
Here.
Janice Gaffney,
Here.
Tim Holcomb,
Here.
Allison McFadden Keesling absent, Nancy Moon,
Here.
Alan Panter,
Here.
Maggie Sands.
Here.
Julie Meredith here.
Terrific. Okay, we need an approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those who disapprove, please say nay. Motion carried. Thank you. Call to the public. No public. Okay, we move on. The consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Okay, may we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I move.
Second.
Okay,
Second, what's the second? Jan?
I think that end is going to be our motion people this time. Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those who disapprove, please say nay. Motion carried. Now we're ready for Friends of the Library. Linda?
We are having a book sale at the end of this month, and I did take some recommendations, I think, from Jan about approaching lures.
Yes.
So we do have a designated time on Saturday, May 1st, from 2 to 3 p.m. for nonprofits and charitable organizations to come.
Okay.
I think Lighthouse might be coming, and I also reached out to Lures in Lake Orion.
Okay.
So if you have any other organizations, please let us know. We do need children's books and fiction, so if you have any books you want to donate, put them on that cart by the front desk so we can get them into
Okay.
the book sale. We are having a children's book sale on June 15th, so having those children's books is really important. And then we're also having a Friends of the Library meeting on April the 16th at 7 o'clock, and there will be door prizes. So
Prizes.
you need to come.
And that means this Thursday.
Yes, maybe you'll be a winner.
Any other questions or comments? I want to say the Friends newsletter is beautiful. I love it a lot. Nice job.
Pass it on to him.
And you said June 15th was the children's?
Yes,
Thank you.
Monday, all day. And it's in the children's section, is where we hold the sale.
Great. Anyone else? Any other comments? How about library statistics, Bill?
So looking at this month, from February of last year, we did increase in several categories. Questions were up 47%. So people wanted to know more things this month, apparently this year than last. We did have kind of a flip-flop in our programs, though. Our adult programs went up by 45% and 88% in participants. But our children's programs decreased a bit. They did some lesser, they didn't have quite as many gigantic programs because they were trying not to burn out. So this is one of those things that they took a little bit of a backseat to some of the other stuff this time of the year. Notary's going strong, up at 16% from last year. People keep finding out we do it. And so they keep coming and showing up to get notarizations. Study room went up, computer users went down. That just seems to kind of fit together, I think.
Well, also at this time, I think children and teens are preparing for the March reading program, Battle of the Books.
I think that they were preparing.
That's in
for
March.
it,
They would
yeah.
be preparing for that, so that's going to
And
take
they
up their
decided to
time.
make sure they didn't do quite as much this year as they did last year, before Battle of the Books. that is a busy, busy time, you are correct.
Yeah, from looking at the newsletter, they had lots of teams participating in
There was a lot
that.
of teams participating this year, and they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, looked like it was. It always looks fun to me.
Didn't we used to have the patron count, like the signups, or?
We're doing those as we were going to do those as a yearly stat.
Okay.
So they're not in there yet. They'll be at the end of the year. But
Okay.
if we want to do a month, we just have to.
I'm just curious.
modify the way we do our-
I remember seeing it one time, so I was like, where?
Oh, yeah, they were there, but there were zeros.
All right.
So I'm pretty sure we had more than zero that way.
Oh, the Battle of the Books is a fun organization to go to see the kids get all excited. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
the grandparents cheering for
costumes
their
and, yeah.
grandchildren. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Okay, thank you, Bill. Library Director's Report. Julie?
Okay, as part of the local planning committee for the America 250 project celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, CIDL has been invited to host a Liberty Tree on the library grounds. This is a project sponsored by the David W. Elliott Foundation and will be executed by the Clarkston Community Schools Academic Service Learning students. The class will acquire tulip poplars that are 3 to 4 feet high and plant them at locations around town. They will include an engraved medallion made by the Clarkston High School students to identify it as the America 250 Liberty trees. We are in the process of identifying an appropriate location for this baby tree, and we'll talk to the Garden Club about helping us water it through the summer to assure its success. April 19th through the 25th is National Library Week. We will be celebrating with a Spirit Week for the staff and the public. On Sunday the 19th, we want people to wear Hawaiian shirts from tourist clothing from places you visited, because reading takes us places. On Monday the 20th, it's Hat Day, hats off to reading. On Tuesday the 21st, your favorite color, because we are a rainbow of readers. Wednesday the 22nd, wear a shirt with a positive message about reading or libraries, because we positively love books. Thursday the 23rd, wear something with a rainbow or multiple colors in honor of Reading Rainbow. On Friday the 24th, it's your favorite college gear, because reading makes your future bright. And on Saturday the 25th, wear animal print or pattern, because we are wild about reading. That should be fun.
Yep, I like that.
During the month of May, Molly Weiner, CIDL's School and Outreach Coordinator, will be choreographing field trips for the Clarkston Community Schools students in the Young 5 program through second grade for a library tour and information about our upcoming summer reading program. The Friends of the Library sponsored a branded giveaway for each child. This year, the kids will receive colorful sunglasses with the library's logo. For We Are a Vital Organization, work continues on our space plan for the delivery room. The committee's goal was to bring the proposal for this renovation to the board at either the April or May meeting. There are some important pieces we wanted to finalize before the full presentation of the project, so we are finishing those details for the May 11th meeting. The room was left out of the space plan of the full building in 2008, so this important space remains basically the same since the building was constructed in 1992. Most of the shelving and storage were donations from other libraries that we've acquired over the years, and we have definitely outgrown the random storage options that we currently have. This overhaul will include much-needed new flooring and paint, in addition to 2 sets of compact shelving and a book sale workspace. The fire inspector and fire marshal are completing their review of the drawings and are pleased with the drafts. We anticipate any suggestions that they have will only be minor adjustments. It is estimated this project will be approximately $200,000, which the library has set aside in the capital improvement fund to do the work of this magnitude. And we look forward to rolling that out to you next month. The space utilization study for the library's master plan project will begin the last week of August. We look forward to an exciting and busy summer of programming, and then we will roll up our sleeves and get to work on this important work. As approved by the library board in February, the administrative staff is in the process of transitioning our payroll from Bamboo HR to Paylocity. In an effort to make a clean break between the two systems at the end of the first quarter, the goal was to have our first Paylocity payroll on April 10th. Because of the short timeline, we entered this first payroll manually with the assistance of our Paylocity implementation team. This was executed successfully. We are now in the process of transitioning staff to the time tracking portion of the system. The time tracking of both Bamboo and Paylocity will run side by side for the April 24th payroll. We plan to have staff fully transition to Paylocity time tracking for the May 8th payroll. Then we will work on rolling out the employee community, HR, and onboarding features of the system. So far, we've been very pleased with the support we are receiving from Paylocity during this transition. It is a tight timeline, though. MERS, the Michigan Employee Retirement Service, the organization that handles the retirement plans for the library staff, started the process of transitioning to a new software and website system in February. The system went through a blackout period from late February through the end of March. We are in the process of creating an account in their new system and learning how to use the updated software. Because we are a smaller employer, they will have us doing manual entry for the first few payrolls while they set up the larger employers in the new data upload system. We look forward to switching back to the more efficient upload system in about a month. The state of Michigan is in the process of transitioning the Unemployment Insurance Agency, UIA, website. As a governmental organization, the library is actually a reimbursing entity when it comes to unemployment, which means if a past employee files for unemployment, the state contacts the library and indicates what portion of that liability the library will reimburse to the state. During the software transition, there is a process for creating a new account in the software, going through a series of training videos, and resuming the upload of employment data to the new site on a quarterly basis. Once this transition is complete, we will be handing this task over to Paylocity as part of our payroll service, which is included in our service agreement. This little section is about the Friends membership meeting, which Linda already talked about. But I wanted to let you know that at that membership meeting, the library will do a sneak peek of our new website, and we will present our wish list for approval by the membership. So those are some things to look forward to at the meeting. And then last, due to unforeseen circumstances, the library's audit fieldwork had to be rescheduled. The new date of our audit fieldwork is Friday, April 17th. Any questions?
Well, congratulations to you and Nicole for getting Paylocity up and running. I understand people got paid.
No one has approached me and said they did not get paid, so we'll call that a success.
I'm sure that we would have heard.
We would have heard.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Terrific. Any other questions or comments? Okay, now we are ready for regular business, the presentation of the draft CIDL website redesign.
Yes, that puts us first, huh?
Yep.
Do you want me to go over the MAFE, or you want to just take it away?
Oh,
I don't have to move, so.
I don't have to.
You want me to, okay. As part of the strategic plan for 2025 to 2027, the library also completed a tech assessment, which included a look at our digital presence. This included CIDlibrary.org as well as our online catalog. Staff and public input received during that process indicated that updates to the library's online presence are needed. A website redesign committee was formed and the RFP was posted. In December 2025, the library board approved a project proposal for a Vega Discover and Vega Web Builder bundle to redesign the library's website. These tools are a part of the Polaris product line. Polaris is the library's integrated library system software, so this provides a streamlined website and library catalog combination. This project was launched in February and has May as the proposed launch date of the new site. And the redesign committee is going to show you a draft of the new website to provide you an opportunity to provide feedback.
Okay, amazing. Well, hi everyone. My name's Sissy. I'm head of marketing and engagement here. I know everyone in the room, but say hi again. And this is Bill.
Yep. I'm head of the IT department. Again, I also know everybody in the room, except for people behind the camera.
We've been leading the website project. We're super excited to you're the first audience that will have preview access to our new one. But of
We
course,
didn't get paid to be part of it.
no, we're starting with the old, and then we'll transition to the new. In the document, there's a website rollout plan. I'm going to go over that first before we transition to the tour part. So last week, we sent out a survey to our staff, and in that survey, it had some feedback options for them, so they were able to help us choose the font as well as the colors of the website. We sent it out as well. Today was the day for them to submit that feedback so that we could look at it and see what colors and fonts people were liking, so that we could decide as a team what we wanted to move forward. So we got some staff input for that. Today, we sent out, today we're presenting first here. And then we also sent out an email to our staff giving them links to the catalog. So we have a new catalog as well as a new kids catalog. So they received links for that because it's live right now. So we're encouraging them to start using it and seeing how they like it, what questions they have. We sent out a feedback form for that as well, so that as they're playing around in it, they can send us feedback of, hey, this came up weird, or they like this feature. So they've got that, and they will be able to, we told them, you can start using it. And then we have a training for that, which is on the 21st. So that will be with someone, a representative from Vega, actually, from the catalog department. So they will have a on-site, well, it'll be on-site here, but they'll be zooming in. But we'll have a training for that, and whoever's not able to attend, we're gonna record it so we can send it out to staff. We're also having a training and a treat, which is what we call our trainings here, because who doesn't want a treat if you're gonna have a training? So we're gonna have a training and a treat on our website. So that will happen in 2 weeks, yeah, the 24th. Derek, who works under Bill in our IT department, he is gonna lead those. It's just gonna kind of be like a website tour to show staff like how the new website looks and how to navigate it. And we have 2 different sessions for that. So one in the morning, one in the afternoon to accommodate staff schedules. And then after that, we have the website. We will preview the website, the new website, and both of the catalogs at our all-staff meeting in May, so that's May 1st. So this last one, we told them, we went over this entire rollout plan with them. We said everything's coming, don't worry. And then on May 1st is when we will officially show them everything, get that last-minute feedback before we launch on that Monday, which is the 4th. One thing to note about this is, as you'll see, we had to use some stock photos for the library. I know when we rolled it out, we were talking about wanting to use branded photos. The reason we did not get those yet is because spring is just starting. But I did hire a photographer. Her name is Casey. She owns Blank Photography here in Clarkston. She's local. Her kids grew up coming to the library. She was a marketer in the marketing world for 13 years and then transitioned to doing brand photography. So super exciting. She's going to come to the library on June 17th. So that way we'll have some time for all the flowers to look so beautiful outside. She's going to come in the morning before the library opens, get photos of our spaces and the inside and outside library signage without patrons here. And then she's going to come back in the afternoon for a patron session. I'm going to be asking our staff if they have, if their kids want to come and be in some of the photos. We're going to be doing some shots inside the library at the information desk, checking out a book, at circulation, etc. So we'll have more of those detail shots then, but with coworkers and I'll put a call out, but people that we know is safe to put on the website, that they've signed, that they give consent for everything. So that will be coming, but that will be on the 17th. So we're rolling out the website with the photos that our graphic designer has come up with. They look very nice, but really excited that in mid-June we'll have the new branded photos to put up. So any questions about that?
You have a consent form.
Yes. Okay, Bill, take it away.
So as Sissy said, the website is going to go live on the 4th, but in my estimation, website should always be works in progress. So the thing is we're going to be changing things as we go along, not fundamental changes, but pictures and stuff like that. We'll be updating content as we go along, which is one of the reasons we chose the particular software we're using called Wix. Wix is a much more simple way of allowing staff members to be able to make changes. So our content will be able to be up to date more often. So this is what you see now when you go to CIDlibrary.org. It's not bad. It's not. But this is better. So this is our current homepage. The homepage that we have set up. We have our similar banner section here. Our menus across the top. Search box. We have our information up here. The hours and location, ask us, get a card, my account. These all go different places. We have our bricks here of books and downloadables, our event calendar, and library services. These are all live links to different information that wasn't really easily available on the other website. Underneath that, we're going to be actually using, these are what are called showcases. Showcases actually pull from our catalog, which we're going to go into in a moment, live. So we'll be able to pull in, like this is the new items. So I think there's 10 or 14 new items that it's pulled out of the catalog, and we can scroll through these automatically. So you'll be able to see the new items that are coming up. Then at the bottom, we have our section here which tells us we have these for kids, for teens, and for adults. So these will go to the department pages for those particular things. Correct?
Yeah, correct, and we did not have that before, so on our
Yeah.
previous website, the current one, I mean, we do not have that, so that was an added feature that every department was very excited about, to give out resources and information for each of the department pages.
Yeah.
And this is easily accessible, and these are graphics that we've already used before in marketing materials, so it ties everything in.
Okay, and then at the footer we have our quick navigation, which again gives us to the similar things at the very top. So if you're at the top or the bottom, you see the same stuff. And our get in touch, which is our information, and then a link to our contact us page here at the bottom. So going from the top here, we'll start with the hours and locations. So our hours and locations page, we have now like we said, it's not the best picture of the building. We're gonna get better
We're
ones.
gonna get an updated
We're
one.
gonna get an updated one. It's not bad, it's just, needs to be up to date.
Doesn't have
So,
the signage.
It doesn't have our signage.
That
doesn't-
ages
yeah. Anyway, so right here is where you're gonna get all the information about us. Here's our building location, our hours generally, and then we have a link to our dates closed list. All of the dates closed for 2026 are in there. And we have a virtual library tour. We're gonna go on to that. Do we wanna go on that?
Sure, book it.
All right, let's go on a virtual library tour. We had a company called Abilize come in and build a virtual library tour from taking photos and hooking them up to something like a Google Maps sort of thing, but this is a Google Maps for inside. So there's the accessibility parking, the deliveries and donation section. These are all the outside stuff, which interestingly enough, I went down the story walk earlier. That was so cool. I didn't even know we had that. So we're here at the front door. We walk inside the library. Shows you a floor plan.
It's kind of like if you're viewing a house, but.
Correct. Yeah, it is. It's very similar. So you come in the front doors. You got if we link to back out, we come up to our Cultural City certified location here. So we are a Culture City certified location. We see our bin, so people can know that we do in fact take to recycle.
Yeah, each of you can move on the different circles, but
Yeah, there's little circles.
there are notes on each
There's
of them as
waypoints.
well.
These are called waypoints.
Yeah.
So things that we want people to know about. But the little circles on the floor, you can see the little circles here and there, they will walk you down that hallway. So, we have the men's accessible restroom, for example. Then we can continue to walk down. Here's the women's accessible restroom. And then, surprise, where are we at? Look where this is where we are right in here. So we actually can walk inside our building and see a lot of the stuff that we've got going on here, at least
Which is helpful for individuals, Abilize originally, like their mission is, it's helpful for individuals that are anxious about visiting new spaces and they don't know what it looks like, they don't know if it's accessible for them. This gives them a way to preview it beforehand, so that they have a little bit more sense of what to expect when they come to the library.
what the building looks like, how they can
Right.
get around, so they don't have to come in and say, where is the restrooms? They can just, they're anxious about talking to people or whatever sort of things. Or if it's a parent who's looking for a space, is there a space for my child to do stuff,
We
So-
didn't have a good spot on our website before to host it, it was just always linked on our Google map when you search it, but we're excited to have a new space to host it.
Link directly from our website.
Yeah.
material there.
Sweet.
So, yeah, we can then, let's open it. Yes, yes. So yeah, that's the tour, and that's linked directly here on our virtual library tour. The other thing at the top of the page here, we got our Ask Us. Ask Us is our Contact Us page. So it is going to look very similar to the one we had before, but we had to do a lot of things to make it look this way, to make it work properly. So we have a form. This will email the staff members to ask a question. Again, our information, which is always in a Contact Us page. Our email. This is our chat with a librarian. We do have a library chat that we have at our information desk, so people can ask questions directly through there. Links directly to the library newsletter, which isn't live at the moment, and our teen newsletter as well, which I don't think is, well, it might be live, I'm not positive of that link. And on links to our two social medias. Again, we have the footer, which is all the same.
Bill, is the chat function, do we always monitor that? So
Yeah,
it just
anytime
pops
the building is open, then we have a librarian at the information desk.
Great.
Which is, they sit there, that's the first thing they do when they sit down is log into the chat.
up? Wonderful. How often is that used?
How often is that used?
It is used. I don't have the stat in front of me, but it's not, I mean, we get a couple, two, maybe 1 to 3 a day, 1 to 2 or 3 a day.
Terrific.
They do
Okay.
come in,
Yeah.
and they can ask questions like that, of, any sort of questions the librarians can answer.
Wonderful.
But that will be a feature that we highlight as well. It was a little bit harder to access it on our other website. It was a pop-up, and not many people knew. So now that it's here with the accessible link, that is what we'll be highlighting as we're advertising.
I like
Yeah,
it.
and we started this back in COVID. This is when we started the chat with the librarian. So that, when we were here, we could have librarians still answering questions, even though we couldn't have people in the building. Okay. Let's see. All library services next? All right. So we have multiple library services that we wanted to highlight. So this is a page specifically to our all library services. Things like our tickets and passes, so we can buy tickets for various things. This is also where the map section is. Our technology training links, information about printing, scanning, circulation, how to get a card, notary, yep, all the notary, that's where they find us. The fact that we have exam proctoring and electronics recycling. This is our highlighted services we wanted to make sure that people had just like right in front of them so that they know what we're doing.
Bill, I don't think they might not know what MAP is.
Okay, the Michigan Activity Pass is a program through the library network, and it is a collection of, I think we're up to about 500 locations across the state of Michigan where you can get free and or discounted passes to go somewhere. For example, there is all of the state parks. You have to have a state park pass, right? Through MAP, you can get a free day pass. You can get a free day pass that you can then use to go to the places. Same thing with the county parks, that's similar there. Puabic Pottery, which is a free place to go, but there's a ticket in there that allows you to get a 15 or 20% discount on pottery purchased from that location. Arts and Scraps in Ann Arbor, just a lot of different places that have signed on. I can't think of any of, as I said, there's about 500. If it's a place, you probably will find it in here.
Yeah, there's even discounts for Legoland and Auburn
Oh, yes,
Hills,
Legoland is
the
in there,
Sea
yeah,
Life
that's-
Aquarium.
yeah,
So those are
Yeah,
pretty
we-
big during the summer.
We used it a couple weeks ago to go to the Sloan Children's Museum in
Sloan
Flint.
Children's Museum,
So
yeah.
I remember MAP, like last time I was like, wait, I should check on MAP. I bet they have a pass, and sure
Yeah,
enough, they
like I
did.
said, there's around 500 locations across the state that have free and discounted admission or that sort of thing.
It's really, it's a great program.
And-
It's the advertisement right out here in this poster standard. It says enjoy MAP, and it's got a little kid riding something.
And yeah, it just keeps going. I mean, when they hit 365, they went, great, you can go somewhere every day this year. So it just kept moving up from that point. So, and they just keep growing. There's more and more places that have added locations.
Well, that's one of those things that benefits both sides of the equation.
Oh, yeah,
Because they get more people coming in if people
Right.
can get a discount or a free pass.
absolutely.
And we have access to more places than we knew we had access to.
Exactly.
I mean, I knew about the program, but I didn't know they had 500.
Yeah, I think that's where, I remember 488, that was the last number I remember, but I'm sure it's grown since then. So somewhere around 500, that much I do know. So that's one of the cool programs out there. So yeah, like I said, all of our other internal services, circulation, printing, scanning, some people don't know that we have faxes or how to scan here, so that's an informational that we have here. One of the other services we have that not a lot of people know about but do use quite a bit are our tech toys. So our innovations librarian, Neil, has put together an entire list of all of the, I keep calling them the Internet of Things, library of things that are tech specific. So things like, we have a serger. Who knew, right? Well, there it is right there. They have our button maker, Cricut. There's just a bunch of different things, even like our Glowforge. We started doing soldering. We actually have soldering kits now. We all got to go through a soldering training, which was great fun. We have a mini laminator, several sewing machines, our 3D printers. Like I said, we even have VR headsets, a couple of those that we can check out. These are all items that can be checked out and used. Okay, some of them have to be used here. Like, I believe the sewing machine and the serger have to be used, and you can't take our 3D printer home, I'm sorry. We break it enough, we don't need anybody else to, but like the 3D scanner, you know? So these are definitely things, and he also created a filter page here where you can search for one of the items, or you can search by the type of item it is. So if you're looking for a 3D printing, the items you'll pull up are the scanner and the 3D printer. So, you know, our sublimation, which is our mug press, our clamshell. So the clamshell, you can do things like t-shirt pressing.
Shirts, bags.
Socks.
Yeah.
We did socks
We did
once,
socks,
actually. And then the Sawgrass printer, which is another desktop sublimation printer for doing stuff like that. Okay, so the other things that we have on here, we have a working search function at the top of our webpage that goes both to our internal website, so you can search within the website, or you can search to the catalog. Okay, so all you do is you change the selection here, whether it's website or catalog, and you can type in something along like seed, because we have a seed library, and we can then search the website, which will bring up our seed library, you know, so it'll bring up stuff inside our website directly that it allows us to do. So that there's a way that people can actually, if they're looking for something specific inside our website, if they're looking for something else. The other one, which is even cooler, is our search for, we can search directly from here into our brand new catalog. So our catalog, if you've used it here before,
All the time.
okay, this is it right here. We have, you know, there's the names, here's our coming soon sorts of things, and we have our, you know, it's plain, but it works. It's very functional. It's plain, it's functional though. If I were to search for Harry Potter, for example, which is a very common thing I search for just to make sure it's working, we get our books, we get, you know, a list. Now, if I go over to our website, homepage, and I search the same thing from the catalog, we pull up something that is significantly easier to read. Also, this is one of our catalogers and my favorite features. You may notice that this particular one, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, a single record shows us that we have both the book and the audiobook.
Oh, that is nice.
Okay, rolled up together in one record, so that it's easier to find anything you're specifically looking for, which will allow us to, and then if you wanted to place a hold, and you didn't care if you got the book or the audiobook, just request any edition. Boom, it'll whichever comes back in first, you get it. Or if you're looking for a specific edition, you can choose that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
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 So, and these things, there's all sorts of these things where it happens. Some of them, there are some materials where we have the book, the audiobook, the DVD, the
Large
Blu-ray,
print.
the large print, and for some reason, a book club kit. They're all in the same record. You don't
Which is
have to
really
search
nice
for
because
which
you
one
have
you're
to-
looking for.
the-
Yep, the
right.
old way you got, so the old way, like you saw here, here's like, of course, the first things that come up are, you know, the non-books, no, the French books, interesting. But each individual thing is, like here's the video for the Half-Blood Prince, for example.
Right.
You know, we have the book, we have the audiobook, we have the large print,
Right,
but you'd have to go find it
right.
in the old way.
Exactly. And I personally, I'll take either the large print or a regular print when I'm looking for a book, but I have to go through all of the records looking at that. This will be, I'm happy. I like it.
Excellent, love to hear that. So the basic catalog page, which this is not the right URL, so that's going to change to a new URL once it goes fully live. But again, this works truly against our actual catalog, so everything we have in there is in here. We start off with much better looking carousels. So these are like the new books, the young adult books, so we can create these showcases again inside the catalog. So we're going to be pulling some of these off into the regular website. Like for example, this is the new kids books, right? We'll be putting that same catalog, that same information on the kids page. so that when they're there, they can just click through there to get to the catalog, which is, keeping them inside the ecosystem so that they don't try to go somewhere else or just, it just makes it much more easily accessible. Okay, so new DVDs, et cetera, et cetera. So now we've got this one. So this is the general catalog. So this is everybody, everything that everybody sees. There's also a kids version, which, while it does look somewhat similar, the pictures are brighter, there's less, it's just set up a little bit differently, but it's just much more simple to use on anybody who is a kid. They can search what they're looking for. The search box is humongous right here in the middle. It's not, hidden or anything like that. They can type, they can do whatever they need to do, and then they can go their merry way. So even one of their things, it even looks different when you bring up an item. Okay, and some of the other cool things that come up with this one, like more in this series. So if you pick a series book, it will show you the entire series. And it will also, which is kind of cool also, if we don't have that book, it's grayed out in the list.
Oh, I love it.
Right?
That works with adult series too?
Yes, it
Oh,
does.
yay.
Believe me, I just did it for a series.
I'm just
the
so
other day.
happy over here.
I did it with a series the other day. I started the first book, I finished the first book, and I went, where's the second one? We didn't have like books 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I requested them all to be purchased for the library. I'm like, this is a popular series, it's going to be created into a TV series, so we should have them all, and it literally was grayed out.
Right, and that happens a lot, but then it'll save me time trying to figure out, do we have it, or do I just go right straight to Melcat to order it?
So
I'm
this
happy.
is the Slow House was the book that I had just finished reading. And you can see, so you see the differences. You got, these ones, we own them, these ones we don't own them. We just don't even own those particular items. So I went through and I placed an item request form for filling out to get these new items.
Can you click on a gray one, Bill? Does it show you the?
It shows you the information,
Oh, okay.
but it tries to search for it, but it's like, no.
We
It
do
does.
also have a roll-up for Melcat.
Yeah, so yeah, you can, if you are looking for a particular item, but if you search for it, you can find from the Mel catalog over here. So there's a Mel catalog.
So I don't
right
have to
here.
go all the way down to the bottom of the page.
Oh,
I know this
So-
part of the website.
Right, you know that part of it.
I know the
You can get rid of
catalog.
it. So this is the path through directly to Mel, so if I wanted to go get that book from Mel, I could do that straight from the little link there.
Okay.
2 clicks, you're there.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and we do have the Melcat in our header as well in the catalog, which is nice, and it's on.
Yep, so there's a link here. If you just want to go straight over to Mel to do your own searches, you can do it from there. And same thing we have an ebooks. This links to the old ebooks and more site right now because it's live. And so we have an ebooks and more page that we're going to be building that has all the links to Hoopla, download destination, Libby, all the different things, so that you'll be able to hop straight over there.
Bill, I also thought it was cool when you click on a book, you scroll down, it also gives you more recommendations.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Let me bring that. So if it's Slow House here again, you may also like.
Oh, wow.
So those are built into the thing. Also, similar authors, similar series, related resources, these are all things that we were able to turn on with this new catalog,
Wow.
So this is all new stuff that we were able to do now with the new system. Any questions?
What does the events page look like?
It looks the same at the moment, because we're
Okay.
using the same events calendar.
Okay.
So, however, we did also learn that we're gonna start putting events calendars on each of the pages again, the adults, the teens, and the friends.
Great.
Because we can in fact filter for that type of event. That's a new feature that they added, probably a couple of months ago. We went, wait, when did this come up? We can filter out stuff, cool. So now we can actually build pages that reference those things.
And if I were to log in, it would give me like what books I have checked out and things like that?
So that's a question that you'd have to take up with circulation, because if you did not turn that option on, it does not save your information. That is a privacy, part of the privacy concerns that we have in the library as part of our privacy policy.
So when you originally set up your account?
Well, you can turn it on at any
Whenever,
time.
okay,
So, but it will only be from that point forward.
okay,
Okay, nothing before. Even the things you currently have checked out won't show up.
okay,
So it's the next time you do a checkout, it'll start keeping those things.
terrific.
Mine's, I mean, I have probably 2,000 or 3,000. It does stop at about, I think, 3,500 entries.
Wow.
So once you hit 3,500, it starts falling off the old ones. So if you read it 10 years ago and you've been doing this, it won't likely be there anymore.
Okay.
So all that history from Polaris will be ported into?
It's all there, because it's
That's
still
awesome.
pulling directly from Polaris, which is our library management system. It's pulling directly from that.
Wow.
There is only one page that's still a little weird, and that has to be with when you're doing a registration. Registration does not work yet in the new discovery layer called Vega Discover, so it just links to the regular old
Yeah.
catalog, which we have internally.
One thing they might like to see is like some device emulation, like, can you do that in the browser, like a?
Are you talking like the size?
Yeah, for the
Yeah, you
response,
can get
for the
content.
response.
Yeah, that is good, because,
So-
because I use it quite often on my phone, and
Yeah.
there are some challenges to doing.
There are some challenges on our website in particular,
Yeah.
on the current website to doing that sort of thing. So one of the things that, where's my homepage go?
Contact us, is that what you want?
I'm gonna start with the homepage.
Okay.
So let's say you have, so you're on your computer, right? This, as we get down through, this is about tablet.
Yeah,
So this is about at a tablet
Yeah.
level. Now ignore the author talks image, we're working on that. So now, everything is stacked,
Oh, nice.
okay? And you see that these become small things, and they will have tooltips over them. When we do that, the catalog still works. This will still function down here. Oh, I didn't take that one out of that one, sorry. These things stack up, which is I thought was kind of cool. And then our quick navigation here at the bottom. My favorite page that we've done this with, however, is our Contact Us page. So again, you start at the top, it's fully across the page here. If you go to tablet size, we're stacked up a little bit here. And then you get, so then this is the tablet section. So everything is stacked like this. And then when we got to mobile size, we even restacked the stuff at the bottom. So that it's all one row, nothing's falling off the side,
because
nothing,
that's
everything
what
is there.
happens.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I know it's gonna happen, and I still, every time, and I go, I can't look at that from here.
So you're going sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, this system, Wix lets us see the different breakpoints really easily,
Yeah,
so
when
that
we-
we can double check them every time.
Yeah.
And we'll do an audit on all of these pages before it goes live.
Yeah, so yeah, we can look at it at desktop width, tablet width, and mobile width while we're coding. And so it's like, and it allows us to take things out, add things in at different sizes. So like I said, with the Contact Us, we were able to
Right.
take this stack and restack it this way and replace it.
Wow.
Would you mind showing us what the research page looks like?
Maybe.
And
Not
then we'll
everybody's
get
done that.
restructuring right
Oh, okay,
now.
now, yeah.
Like I said, every web page is always a work in progress.
Sure.
So all of our online resources currently, the way we have it set up, this one has no images in it yet. We're still working to decide on what we want to do. These are just all of our resources in a list, right?
Great.
However, on the left side, you'll see that there is a category filter. So we can actually go through and go by education. So anything that's education specific will come up as a category. And we tag these in the back end so that we know which one's which. Automotive, I know, we see, this, and it's an additive filter. So you have to uncheck one to get it to come out.
Okay.
So, books and literature, our novelist, tumble books, history and genealogy. So these are all different things that are in our online resources tab. So the design is, like I said, this design, we were making it work so that we'd make sure we could see that it was working. So we're taking requests to a point where we can actually do some changes if people want us to change some things around. But yeah, like I said, the event calendar is literally the same.
It's just local hop, but
It's just our local hop, it's just inside this particular thing here, so that looks the same. What's that?
Sorry, room reservations are right there. Perfect.
Yes.
Under services.
Yeah, under services, yeah, room reservations links straight to the reservation requests.
Much easier.
So these are our, these like the outreach, these link to pages that primarily have forms on them for the people that need to, like if you're requesting a tech toy, or you're requesting proctoring, or you want to get to your room reservations, or you're requesting outreach services. The outreach services is, that thing there. We have our library staff page, which has got all of us on it, well, most of us. Similar looking to the way we did it before, just it's full width on our stuff. We do have some new images for the people that don't necessarily want to have their picture on the web, which is fine. So the, yeah, we all look. So we go all the way down here in circulation. The only one that wants, it was the head, so she's on there right there. And there is a board page that I don't think the board pictures are up yet.
That would be really fast.
That would be impressive.
Those are the old ones. Yes, we have the old ones. So these are the old ones. But it's similar in form where you got all the information links to the various stuff that you guys tout out to everybody needs the board. When's our board meetings, the public notices, the bylaws, and our comment policy. With the other thing we did with the catalog is one of the things that they wanted us to add was actually our library's privacy policy to the base of the base of the catalog. So that's the Michigan Privacy Act is what we've placed up there at this point. So that's another thing that was there. And so all of this stuff, all of these pictures, they come from an external site that I believe it is Synthetics, which is when we do a lot of stuff, they do a lot of things from that sort of thing. And now, I mean, I know you've been asking questions. Do you have any more?
No, but there's some really good features in this.
Yes, I'm very
There's
excited.
really good.
It's
It's
fabulous.
impressive. It is.
Yeah, I know you guys have spent hours and hours and hours putting this all together, and it really paid off. It looks wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll say one more comment about the nice thing about Wix too is that built into the background of it, it has an accessibility widget.
Oh, yes.
So we haven't done it. We did one quick one, but once we're finalized with our content, you can click the widget. It will go through the entire website and it will show you, and it'll say this came up, and then you can say fix now, and it'll show you the option for it. And that's something that they have that we can be doing. We can do like an audit every single month. Like we can make that a habit so that we're making sure that the new content we're putting on, just with colors and font sizes and stuff like that, like something that you don't think about all the time, but it's nice that they have the widget for us so that it does that.
Yeah, and that's part of the feature set. One of the things that we've been, in some of the websites we were looking at, that was an add-on feature. So as of this coming year, no, this year, I think, is when it's called WCAG 2.2, where all websites must be accessibility certified, or at least accessible to this particular level. And that's this WCAG widget
Yes.
is a thingamabob, allows us to do that whenever we want. And like she was saying, anytime that somebody creates new content, we check it before it goes live, just to make sure that it is in fact certified. Certified. It passes. Thank you.
Nope, very good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Very, very nice. All your hours have been well worth it. And thank you, Tim, for being the
Oh, yes.
representative on the board.
Yay!
Yeah, I was impressed how they already fixed that button from
Which
this
button?
from this morning. The search, remember how we could?
We did that.
Oh, you guys did?
Yes, we did. We were like, we're
I think we have to present it to the board, fix it.
Nice.
And and that's the other thing. You know, we've been working with a team at Vega, And sometimes they'll fix something, sometimes we'll just have to figure it out, which, you know, is great, because then we have more ownership on the inside of what we're doing. So, it's great to have that ability, that flexibility. Sometimes we look at someone and go, why that? I don't know. Let's fix it. And so we'll get into the code and we'll fix some of the pieces as we go along.
Yeah, we've been meeting with them weekly since February, so it has been a lot of work, but yes.
It's really nice.
Well, I think the community is going to be very impressed.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Sissy.
Thanks. Yeah.
May 4th is the magic date, you said?
Yes, May 4th, it's
May-
a Monday.
May the 4th be with you.
And your website, yeah.
Okay. Oh, what did I do with my agenda? I copied up my agenda. There it is. Okay.
Because most of the things you were pretty excited
We are
about
on
was too.
review of the, is it Verkada?
Verkada, correct.
Verkada Visitor Tracking System. Bill, I think that's you again.
Me again.
Me again.
Julie, do you want to give us the brief description?
Sure. In response to the information gleaned from the library's strategic plan staff survey, staff safety within the library was of particular concern. A committee was created to increase the visibility of and suggest solutions for these safety concerns. So far, the committee has rolled out a streamlined name tag policy for the staff board, friends, and volunteers, as well as a procedure to control entry to the building through the delivery door. Next on the list was a request to have a way to track the arrival and departure of guests in the staff and delivery areas. This will provide more information about who is in the building if there is an emergency, and improve our ability to determine when all persons have been accounted for. In looking for a system to accomplish this, we were approached by Verkada, a manufacturer of security hardware and software, who presented a system that is very similar to the one in the Clarkston Schools buildings. The staff was able to demo the solution in library and found it to be easy to use. We have received a quote attached that details the cost of this system. The solution consists of 2 badge printers and licensing for the Verkada guest software. The library will be supplying the 2 iPad devices needed to complete the solution. Verkada's $5,432 quote will be supplemented by $168 to cover any installation parts and labor to mount the equipment. This is not a budgeted item, however, there is $11,181 in undesignated revenue that could be used toward this project. And I will let Bill explain the rest of it.
Okay, so like I wrote here, the next piece that came out of our safety committee was trying to control the people that were entering the building either from the front or the back, knowing who was in the building at any given time, if there was a problem or there was something that we needed to deal with, like an emergency or some sort of thing like that. We don't necessarily know if there's members of the Friends in the back. We don't know that until we have to go find them. Or if a vendor comes in and is hanging out in the back, we don't know that they're here if, you know, again, an emergency happens. So this solution was brought about due to that, and we were looking at various places around the area to do something similar. The closest thing we found was at the Clarkston Schools, and it is a very similar solution to what we've got here. Basically, it works out, like it says, an iPad sitting mounted to something that sits in a kiosk mode that says, what are you, a visitor, are you a friend? We can set this up to be whatever we want it to be, and then they have to put in information about themselves, name, phone number, email, and then it takes a picture. And then the software then tracks that check-in as a person is now in the building. And each person gets a handy-dandy sticker badge. And it's got their face on it, got their name, and why they're in the building, okay? So that, and then that is broadcast to, if you have that we will be setting up a couple of locations, like we already have the one where it controls the back door. We will have the software on our mobile devices that will, so we can look up if something were to happen. We could say, oh, this person's in the building, this person's not in the building. It keeps track of that until they leave, and then they're checked out of the building. The information is then, we set a retention period, so likely I'll set that retention period to probably 1 day, you know, just so that it's deleted by the next day. So, but in our testing, it's 30 days. You know, it keeps it for 30 days. But for privacy concerns, obviously, and stuff like that, we will just shut it off till the next day. So the solution, like, so when they sent us an iPad, a mounting kit, a printer, some labels, and a demo license to the software. So the licenses are, as you see in the quote, for 2 stations. We have 2 main entrances, so we'll be putting one at each of them. One at the circulation desk for people going to the back. The patrons, we kind of know who's out there. I mean, we don't ever track who comes in the building as a patron. So that's our normal procedures for gathering people that leave. But this would allow us to know if somebody's in a back room somewhere, okay? And allow us to keep track of that sort of thing if there's a sorter, you know, that, because if you look in the, right, I mean, I know we're about to redo the back room, but right now, if you open the back door and the sorter happens to be in the little corner there, you have no idea they're there. You would have no idea unless you heard them drop a book, okay? So this system has been the most user-friendly thing I've ever used in my life, to be honest, and it's really, really simple to set up, to use. Like I said, you just tap a couple things on an iPad, which we already own several iPads, so I don't need to spend the other $350, $400 on an iPad for each of these systems. And just the badge printer and the badge labels is the only thing. And then those are the cheap parts. The expensive part, of course, is the licensing for the software. You'll notice it's about $2,400 a license per year. So this like I said, this will allow us to keep track of vendors, and the safety committee is also working on some procedures and policies that we're going to also bring back to you guys about the usage of these particular tools and other methods by which we're going to track the people that come in and out of the building from the back. So this is a piece of that, and yes, are there any questions?
I have used the one at the Clarkston schools.
Uh-huh.
As you said, it's 2 or 3 zip,
Tap,
zip,
tap, tap,
and
done.
that's it. You get this nice little picture.
Yeah.
Sometimes not such a great picture because you weren't paying attention, but
If you're paying attention, you can get a decent picture out of it.
But
If you don't,
it worked.
oh.
It did work very well. I think this is an excellent idea.
And Jim?
Yeah, just a quick question. If a person is a frequent visitor, like the Friends, and they're sorting, they might be in here 2-3 times a week, can they print a badge and then scan in and scan out so they don't have to sign in each time?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
Not
so you
that
would
I'm
have to
aware of.
sign in.
Because
Same thing.
like I said, for privacy concerns, we're going to nuke the database each day.
Oh,
So we wouldn't
okay.
remember from
So you
the day
wouldn't have
before.
history, okay.
We're just for privacy concerns, we'll just get rid of that. We wouldn't know that they've been there the day before.
Bill, wasn't there a way that we could set it up where it wouldn't necessarily print the badge, though?
There are ways to set it up where, yes, I mean, you can set it up where you don't get a badge. I mean, that is an option.
So I think what we.
There's also an option where you can get a QR code on your phone. You can sign in on your phone when you come in and sign back out. So, I mean, if we don't think the person really wants a badge, I mean, that's a thing that can be set up as well.
So as a pilot program, we were thinking one in the front and one in the back, but Bill and I had kind of talked about is, we'll start it out this way and see how it goes. We only wanted a 1-year license on it. That way, after a year, we can say, are we really using it this much? But what I was almost thinking is that the one in the back might, because there's usually the people who are coming in the back door are people who have name tags and lanyards and things like that, that we might at some point switch that one to just being a sign in and sign out so that we know you're there, and then you put your name tag on, as opposed to printing a badge every
That's
time.
the whole idea, you can set up different types of check-ins. So, for example, the idea today we were looking at that was vendor, friend, and other. Something. So if a vendor's coming in to talk to somebody, we can do that. If it's one of the friends of the library, we can do that. If it's just public, we can put in a public to come in the back. And yes, if you have exactly, setting it up so that you don't necessarily get a badge, but you just get in and get your lanyard. We just know you're there. And
Right.
it's just a check-in, check-out sort of
Right,
thing.
well, because I'm wearing a badge, if I remember to put it on.
Right.
I'm wearing a badge when I go back to, right.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't necessarily need a badge every time I came in,
They
but,
would not, so, I mean,
But
Yeah.
if we're back there and maybe you didn't see Julie and someone was like, oh, I don't know, there was a person, so then that way if it was an emergency,
We'd
we'd
know
know,
you
oh,
were
Jan's
back
in the
there.
building,
Yeah.
okay, you should
where did
make
she
sure
go?
she's safe too.
Yeah, make sure that she's
yeah,
safe.
which is good. I think that's
Yes.
a great feature, but,
Correct.
yeah.
The thinking was that we would probably want the printer at the front one, and that maybe after a year, we might determine that maybe the back one doesn't need a printer necessarily, just because the people who come in the back already have badges. So we're gonna try it and see what is really needed, and then we can change that and send back the things we don't need after the first year. after we've
At the
pilot.
beginning, I think I would use badges, because if you have a badge, you're more likely to check out.
You're more likely to remember to check back out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of ins and no outs.
Yeah, and that's what like the safety committee after, if you decide to continue with this process, we will be building the procedures that go along with it as well. So, yeah, making sure that everybody's, hey, remember to, it'll be like a thing you check in, remember to check out, big sign. Put it on the door, I don't know, just some way to make sure that you remember to check out on the way out.
Because that becomes crucial, especially if the library's open until 9 o'clock and
Correct.
we lose our power, and you're like, okay, who's wandering
here?
around in the dark?
Right, who's wandering
Yeah.
around in the dark? And, I can pull that up on my phone as to who's wandering around in the dark. So, yeah, it works really well, so I can actually see the photo that was taken, the name, and when they checked in.
So, just a couple of questions. Will it be a monitored system? Like, what will cause someone to actually check in?
What do you, I'm sorry.
Like, if I was a member of the public or whatever, or a vendor, and I walked back there, I mean, is there something that prohibits me from going back? How do you monitor whether somebody's actually using the system?
So the idea with the safety committee, we are building that process right now, because the circulation department is going to work to be trained on how to stop somebody from coming through the door right at that point. They're like, hey, can I help you? So this is going to be, we're going to be doing some training in the department that way. Same thing if we happen to see we're going to be doing this with all of the staff as well. If you're walking up from the back, if I happen to be looking out my office and I see a random person walk by me, can I help you? So there's going to be internal training on how that's going to work out. We were talking about some other barrier type things, but I don't think they wouldn't really work for that particular space. But we were still in discussion about ways that we're going to. Can somebody just run past? Yes, they can, but that's never going to stop unless somebody trips them. But that's a liability
I
problem.
think with the back door being locked the way that it is, you have to push a button to let people in. So there isn't gonna be quite as many people back there that don't necessarily belong, because they have to come
They
through
have to come through
circulation
the
anyway, so it's
circulation.
kind of a little more obvious when a person you don't really know is kind of just wandering somewhere where they don't
Yeah.
usually go. But it is, again, still nice to know. where
How
they are.
often does it happen?
Not very often. Usually, it's people who just don't really know where they're going, or maybe like, for example, the circulation team goes around the corner and they're like pulling out a hold, and then someone might kind of meander back. From what I see, I've seen maybe a few people over the years, but for the most part, it was harder to tell before when the friends, were back and we didn't have badges and things. So it was like, okay, are you a Friends member, are you not? And you feel weird stopping people, because if they belong there, you feel weird to be that person, to be like, are you supposed to be here? So that has helped a lot, having the name tags.
And the name tag, and then, like I said, the procedures that we're writing are going to just basically make everybody a person we need to talk to.
Mhm.
So it's going to basically trigger more interactions with the people that are the people that are walking by. And it's going to try to get our circulation staff at the moment seems to be more, more ready to speak to people that they don't know, because they're new. I mean, a lot of them are new. Some, there's a lot of people that they just don't know, and there's a lot of people that the friends that come through don't know.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to work out as a process. Like, hey, please remember to check in before you go to the back, or even if it's somebody they do know, hey, remember to check in before you go in the back. And so it's going to make it a little easier back and forth. We'll have a process for them to go to. You know, it's not just a, hey, what are you doing? It's a,
Right, which
"Hey,"
feels
it becomes-
confrontational,
right,
and
this-
people
this
don't
is
like
more of
it.
a, hey,
Right.
we have a procedure, can you check in with our system here so that we know that you're in the back in case something happens?
Right.
You know, it's gonna give us more, an easier way to talk to the person that's trying to go in the back.
Yeah, I think that'll take making sure that we're using a good degree of diplomacy when we do it, so
Right.
people aren't.
And we'll do
set
the
up.
same thing with vendors, or people that are coming in to do work, you know, like when Allied comes in every month. We all know who Marcus is. Marcus is our guy who comes in every month, but we're gonna request he also do the same thing so that we know that he's still here. Because sometimes I'll go, hey, where'd Marcus go? Has he left? And I didn't know whether we left or not. We could check. So,
How many people a day do you think head to the back that are not staff?
I don't know, I don't have a good answer to that, I'm sorry. But it does happen. I generally call out technicians for things.
I don't think it's necessarily like patrons coming back. It's more so, again, you know, friends who are back there in and out during the day, vendors, you know,
But-
that kind of stuff.
But the definition of shouldn't be there isn't, it's not even shouldn't be there people. Those ones, you only get like one or two every month or so.
Or
It's just,
less,
you
yeah.
know, if just happens to walk in the back. But these are for actually people who should be there. We just need to know they're there, if that makes sense.
And who they are. I think
And
that's
who
kind
they
of
are.
the question, is
Yeah.
we have so many employees that maybe don't know everybody, and they're not sure if they should say to you.
Right.
They don't want to inadvertently say to a board member, hey, what are you doing back here? Because they don't want to be that person who's like, ooh, I should have known that person. So they don't ask at all because they're afraid to.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, and I think
And I
exactly
think that
your
that's
point.
good if it's
Nobody should
just
say,
part of
"What
a
are you doing back
procedure.
here?"
Yeah.
Like it's
Right.
the.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
Diplomacy.
confrontational.
No, it does not.
Because you
And
can
that's what I
understand
said.
that
That's
how
what
that could get
we're
out of
writing.
Absolutely.
We had a
Absolutely.
safety committee meeting this afternoon, actually, and we were talking through some of these procedures that we wanted to start to enact. And we were looking at a script, literally a script that we were writing for when a person comes in, you know, so that will be part of this.
I have a higher level of appreciation for the staff wanting, you know, their safety concerns addressed. I mean, it's the times we live in, so I have tons of empathy for that and total support on that. What I do think is it'll be important to do a rigorous review of the system that we put in place after and if we're going to sign a contract for a year, I would say, let's not auto-renew. I'd like to be able to look and hear, maybe understand from our vendors and the friends, as well as the staff, like, what do we actually think? Is this an effective system? Did it help more, hinder more, all of the above? Just, you know, as we get the procedures put together, and to see if it
And I
made a
think this
difference.
is part of what the safety committee is planning on doing, is, you know, that's where we're still meeting monthly-ish, every month or every other month, so we'll be able to audit, you know, take a look. Hey, we had X number of people today, you know, how does it look like? We'll only really be able to tell how much usage it gets, because again, privacy, by the number of labels we've used. You know, really. So if we're burning through labels very quickly, we'll know that we have a lot of people coming through. Because again, I am privacy forward, so I want to make sure that that stuff stays private, you know, even if you come in every single day. So we could track,
it
Maybe you
probably
could
does
tabulate
count.
the number.
we could track tabs, we could tab the numbers up, but on a daily basis, we could do that. But
It may already do that. I feel like that might.
I think it does, actually, if I remember right, there's a graph, says how many people came in that day, and but you can erase it's like, just like our circulation numbers, we don't track who checked them out after they come back, but we do track that it was checked out. So,
Right.
we can track the how many, just not who. You know, that's kind of what I want, is I want people to track how many, just not necessarily who.
Thank you.
Any additional, yeah?
So my main concern with this is just operational in terms of, you know, what's going to happen when people don't use it, when they don't check in when you want them to. They don't understand the process that you're supposed to check in. And also, you know, that people, you know, might not check out. So, you know, you get people check in that don't check out. So I think you might have some operational problems with this is my concern, so.
So that's why I said we were gonna start working on training of staff very, very soon. You know, getting getting the staff trained to train the people coming into the building. You know, that's the only way I can think of to do it. There's gonna be signage, we're gonna have it in a prominent location. So the badge itself may say, these are customizable, the badges are customizable, we can put a lot of stuff on them. You know, please remember to check out, you know, that sort of stuff. We will do everything in our power to keep that consistent. So that's the plan. I mean, that's the only way I can think of to do it is by, you know, making sure the signage is obvious, making sure that the staff is trained properly, and that we start training the people who come through the building properly.
Alternatively, you could just block entrance to the back room. It's a staff area, and it would make sense for the circulation desk just to let guests in and have the conversation without the badge. You know, a little bit of what I'm thinking. I get, if you're not in the public area, that's your workspace, and the public shouldn't necessarily be back there unless there's a special occasion. But, you know, maybe there's something, and I know there's a lot of flow there, but closed door kind of does that for you.
We do have signage at both entrance points to the back from behind the circulation desk. There's a sign at the ceiling level, because, you know, so we do have signage there that this is private space. Doors would be hard. Doors would be very difficult.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of traffic that staff uses going back and forth. We were also talking, like I said, we were talking about other methods for other spaces in the building where public doesn't need to go. We were talking about stanchion-like things, or mountable, expandable gates. Those might be okay to use, but we'd have to look into that, whether that doorway could be mounted that way. I mean, it's a thing we could talk about, but we were starting with the information desk for that particular process. But it is a possibility. You're absolutely correct. We could find a way to block off that. It's just whether operationally we could make it feasible with our workflows, because our workflows, literally, we travel back and forth between that area all the time.
Well, and is the Friends donation thing inside?
Yes.
Right.
See, so that's an
So
issue
it
too.
would have to be already back a little
Well,
further.
yeah, I think it's sort of like finding that balance
Yeah,
between how much
exactly.
security are you
Right.
looking for
Correct.
versus how cumbersome you want your system to
Because-
be.
Security's
And this is fairly low cumbersome, but probably doesn't offer you a ton of security, actually. That would be a little bit of my thought process is we're gonna put this in place. I'm not sure what it will provide other than making someone slightly more intentional about asking, I'm sorry, I don't know you, can you tell you, and which could be done without a system today. We could have badges that says guest, whatever. So that's the only reason I know it's not electronic. That's why I'd like to sort of see if we're solving it in a way that's actually effective and thoughtful. And I don't know what other libraries do, but let's make sure that the process is actually a solution for what you're looking for.
And with that, I think what this will help, and yes, there's possibly other methods we could go about by doing it, but having the process in place will give confidence to those of us in the building that need that, to say, hey, wait, we have a process in place for this. I can do this. So I think that, the more introverted of the staff would be a little bit more able to handle talking.
Right, because it's part of a
Because
process
it's part of a
instead
process.
of confronting
Instead of
someone.
confronting somebody that's trying to go
Because
back.
people
Not everybody
don't
is
want to
me.
confront.
And sometimes that can just turn into a thing.
But
Right.
I also think those of you in the back, you see somebody without a little sticker, it's easy enough to say, oh, I'm sorry, did you forget to sign in?
Right.
Into
And
story.
in this case, you're getting it at the entryways, so it's not like, for example, Jan coming back all the way back to grab her badge. So someone, they don't know
Yeah.
if they stopped around the way,
Right.
so.
Last question, are there any other local libraries using a similar system?
Many libraries, the many libraries around this area do not actually have, in libraries that I've been into, so I'm
Sure.
going to go that with
Fair
caveat.
enough.
I have not been in all the libraries, but all the libraries that I have been into, their staff spaces are enclosed. So they actually have doors.
Yeah.
that are either badge, key, or fob locked.
Yeah, that's what I was
And
wondering.
that's a whole system that is a completely separate thing that we haven't gone to, so that's something that's much, much bigger of a project.
Thank you.
Nope, I just agree with the point. Door is not a bad idea.
And we also have the problem of airflow. That's
Yeah,
another issue with our
yeah.
building.
But
You know,
I've worked in
airflow.
I've worked in some professional spaces, and they're very serious about locking doors and departments. And you just have the employees have a badge that you can hold up, and it unlocks the door right away.
And that's, like I said, that's a whole different.
Right.
Yep, then I realize
That's
you're
a
going far.
massive
with
project.
that.
And it can
Okay,
have the
but-
slider doors, it's something to think about
Yeah.
if and when we do
Yeah.
renovations to the library.
With our master plan, you know, some of this stuff will probably be looked at as well. So this is a process by which we will have a year's worth of this to see how, you know, that's the
Yeah.
idea.
But it's good.
You know, if you're going to go to the museum, you have to kind of step behind the circulation desk to get into the museum.
Well, that's why,
even.
so
Yeah.
yeah, but see, that's, you know, that,
So-
again, that's where that's just there, and donations are right there, yeah. So, but 90% of people that donate something say, hey, where do I take the donations?
Yes.
So we're already having that conversation, so they're just going right there, and then they're taking
Yeah.
off again. So that's not usually a problem, the donations or the museum.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Good.
Did everybody get their questions answered?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excuse me, my asthma is not good today. May we have a motion to approve the Verkada Visitor Tracking System for a budget adjustment of $5,600 from the undesignated revenue to line 980.
I move.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to the Verkada Visitor Tracking System to approve a budget adjustment of $5,600 from undesigned revenue into line 980. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those who disapprove, please say nay. Motion carried. Okay, the next topic is the local hop room rental online payment system.
All right, that's me, you guys. So due to an increasing demand from patrons for convenient online payment options for room rentals, the library has been evaluating and refining its payment processes. Initially, when Local Hop was implemented in 2022, it was expected to serve as a comprehensive solution that allowed reservations and payments to be managed within a single system. Later, it was discovered that the platform required patrons to create an account in order to complete payments rather than providing a direct payment link. This posed challenges particularly for group users, such as homeowners associations and organizations hosting events at the library. This is due to the fact that the account would follow the individual who set it up rather than the group that it would belong to. To address this limitation, staff developed a workflow utilizing PayPal, where invoices were generated and sent to patrons for payment. While functional, this process required additional staff involvement in managing transactions. Local Hop has since introduced an update that allows patrons to access a direct payment link through their confirmation email, eliminating the need for a confirmation.
Okay.
This enhancement improves the payment experience, reduces administrative handling, and allows transactions, including refunds, to be processed directly within the system. Now that they have done the update, we would like to go back to the Local Hop software as it was originally intended. In support of this transition, an updated ACH vendor list has been prepared by Kathy. That'll be next on the list, including Local Hop. This addition reflects the platform's capability to automatically deposit funds and efficiently process refunds for advanced room reservations. So essentially, you would go in, you create your, so either if you call in, you're able to make a room reservation. In that confirmation email that they were already getting previously, now there's a link. They can click right on the link. It takes them to a payment page. They're able to put in their own information to pay for the room. If they decide to cancel the room at any point, that refund goes directly back to them. It's all automatic. There is no room for confusion or error. And it's just a very simple way to use it. And that way, welcome to go. So I don't have any questions on that. It's pretty straightforward. So.
Sweet.
May I make a motion?
Yes, I'll take over the chair duties.
There you go. Okay.
So, we
Yeah.
want, okay.
May I make a motion to approve the local HOP as the online payment system for room rentals?
Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second on that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Do we have a quorum right this minute to vote on
We do.
anything?
Yep, we still have 4 as a quorum.
Okay.
We can recess if we want to do that, though.
I would say I could pop out and sure she's okay, and Maggie could pop back in.
Maggie's with her at the moment. I think she's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so,
I'll let her first.
4.
all right, so do we want to carry on then?
It's up to you. What would you
Well,
like? what would
I
you
don't
like to
have a
do?
problem with doing that. I'm not sure she's going to be, she's
She's gonna
coming
try
back,
it.
so we'll see.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
It's good spring.
We did finish that item. I accepted the motion and,
Okay, that one's done?
Yep.
yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. We did not move on to the next one because
The updated ACH vendor list.
In 2023, an ACH and electronic transactions policy was approved by the board. As part of the policy, the board reviews and approves the list of vendors that are authorized to receive ACH payments from the library at least once a year. The administrative team is currently working on a project to expand our list of ACH authorized vendors. The board will receive an updated list to review and has approved this as this work continues. So highlighted company names are the new additions being requested to be added to the previously approved list. So this is something that Kathy's been working on. So she did add Local Hop into this and some other ones that she has been inquiring if they would accept ACH payments. She's been going to our vendors and specifically asking for that.
okay, Nancy has asked me to chair the
To keep
rest of the
going?
meeting,
Okay.
so. Okay, so is there any questions about any of this on the ACH list?
Nope.
Okay, can I have a motion for approval?
I move that we approve the updated list of vendors to receive ACH payment as presented.
And do we have a second?
Second,
Okay,
please.
it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and then we are looking for the financial update.
Okay. So in the financial update, you do have the profit and loss budget versus actual. I have a few things I wanted to point out. Jim sent me an email with a few questions, and so I wanted to address those questions first in the meeting. So one of the things that he pointed out is that part-time wages, that 704 line, if you look at 2024, that number went from 513.2. In 2025, it was 572,093, and then it's back down to 545 this year. He also noticed that we were under budget by 23,000 in that part-time line, and so he inquired what that meant for us in terms of changes. Do we see the impact? My response to him is that there are a couple of different things going on here. The first thing is between 2024 and 2025 was when we added part-time or sick time to our part-time employees. And so we put a big chunk of money into 2025 because we weren't sure how quickly people were going to use that time. Were they going to use it as quickly as they earned it? Were they going to, for every time that we had somebody call in sick, were we going to need to call in a replacement? And so, have that double cost there. And so we put a good cushion in the 2025 budget in order to assure that we were covered. What we found out over the course of 2025, now that we've got data and we see how our employees are using that, that benefit. We did more of an estimate based on actual numbers, and so I think that 545 is probably closer. You'll see that we came in under about the same amount that we're estimating. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that in 2025, we did have a change in leadership at our circulation desk. I think our new circulation head intends to be more engaged in direct public service. So we're not downsizing that department, we're not getting rid of clerks or anything, but as we have people leave, we might not necessarily always fill a position as it opens up. So I am anticipating that there's going to be a little less cost in that part-time in that area as well. So those are the kinds of things that I'm seeing, and that's why that number is lower, and why we came in under budget. So, any questions about that? Okay. So one of his other questions had to do with the book budget. The book budget came in significantly under budget. And why would that happen? There's a couple of things that happen in that area as well. The first thing is the staff will ask for a budget for books, and we can only buy what's actually produced. So they'll think, oh, I'm gonna buy all of these books, and then things don't necessarily get published. The publishers don't put out as many books as they think they're going to. The books that we anticipate that are going to be released, that big bestseller that we know is coming, that we plan on having X amount of dollars so that we can buy multiple copies, gets delayed into the next year. Or the staff will ask for specific amounts of money in order to do a special collection development project. The example I would give is when the children's department especially wants to replace nonfiction. So one perfect example is books about the states. You have to have a book about all 50 states. We usually buy those in sets produced by a particular company. We buy them at different levels for different age groups. As those books age out and you replace them, you need to replace them all at the same time. We don't want a brand new book on Colorado and a really, really old book on Texas. We want them all to be about the same age, and so we replace them as sets. And those are big, expensive projects to weed an entire collection of outdated books and bring them in. So sometimes the staff will say, wow, I want you to put money in the budget so I can do this project, and then every once in a while, you'll have a situation where the person who is going to do that project doesn't get to it, or they leave, and the person who takes over doesn't have the time to take it over, that kind of thing. So I suspect that that's kind of what happened in that case. So we came in under budget in that regard. Similar thing with the special events. Special events is an especially difficult one because I've always put a healthy budget in for programming, because programming is really important to our community. They love our activities and our crafts and things like that. But we also have a very generous friends group. And so what our staff tends to do is when they do a program that I consider a luxury program, they hire a professional performer, they bring in a concert or something like that, the friends pay for those things. And so we anticipate that that money is going to be spent on programming, and then the friends step up and cover it. And so that money is available to go back to fund balance. We don't waste it, we put in the programming that we're going to put in, and then that money can go back into the budget. The difference between being a township department, for example, and being a district library is that when that money goes back to fund balance, it frees it up, and the board can then say, hey, so next year we're going to put that money back in because we know that the children's department is going to get to that project, and we're going to put it back into the budget. And so I'll come to you and I'll say, hey, so they didn't get this project done last year. Would you mind putting that $10,000 back into the budget in 2026 so they can get to it? We didn't use it last year. You have a lot of power as a district library board to be able to make adjustments for us when those kinds of things happen. And so I think what we see in the situation is a lot less waste. When I worked in other libraries that were municipal libraries, you get to the end of the year and you're like, oh my gosh, if I don't spend this money, we're going to lose it. And so I would see people buying things that were not necessarily things we needed, but they didn't want to lose that money. And so they didn't want the powers that be to say, well, you're not going to need that money, we're going to take it from you. We don't have that situation here because I reassure the staff, if that money goes back to fund balance, I have no problem going in and saying to the board, hey board, the children's department didn't get to this project, they would really appreciate it if you would plug that money back in this year because they didn't use it last year. And the board so far has been very flexible in doing that. So we don't worry too much when they come in under budget because they know they can come back and ask when they have the time and the energy to do that.
Julie, I do have one question. I'm trying to rack my brain to remember why we increased the equipment maintenance budget that much this year. Do you remember?
I would have to pull that up,
Yep.
but it was a specific project.
Yes, and I just can't remember what it is either, so.
And Bill has
it's unfair of
vacated.
me.
I
Yeah.
think it might be we are on a 3-year technology plan. 2 of the 3 years, we focus on computers, and the 3rd year, we focus on servers, and servers
Yes.
are more expensive, and I have a
Yeah.
feeling that it might
That
be,
might be
it
that.
might be
Yeah.
a server, or it might be, more likely, I would have to look
Yeah.
at the spreadsheet. It might be this website project.
Oh, right.
So-
Yeah, I remember being comfortable with it at the time, but I can't
Yeah.
remember what it is.
Would you like me to bring back an answer to that, or to send you an
I
email?
can look it
either
up.
way? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to bring up, there are a couple of line items, and this is the end-of-year budget. There's a couple of line items that look like they came in over budget, and I wanted to address those. So the first one is the makerspace budget. So the makerspace budget is over in the special events section. So overall, the special events, the total budget is under budget, but that one line in that set is over budget. And we saw that and we were like, okay, well, what happened here? So I want you to hop your eyes down to 890.007. So 881.007 is the makerspace budget, that's the special events. And 890.007 is that new Friends line. Remember, as the Friends donate money, that money gets put into a budgetary line, and you'll see there's $1,500 there. So we asked some questions about what had happened, and unfortunately what happened is there was a series of projects that were supposed to go into that 890.007 that were attributed to the wrong line item number. So we're gonna have to go back in and correct that. And we're gonna have to be more careful about watching that going forward. The other one that I wanted to point out is the 840 line insurance. So 840 is over budget, but interestingly, it's technically not over budget. What happened in 840 insurance, that particular line item is one where, Nicole, remind me, it's every other month for the first
It's like every
half
other
of
month for the
year.
first half of the year.
Yep, okay. So what happens in that particular line item, we set it up to be labeled as a prepaid. When we get to the end of the year, anything that straddles one year into the next, we split as we are supposed to. The unfortunate thing with that particular one is because it goes to July and it's supposed to be done, that first premium for January comes in December, and in putting it in the new prepaid system, we missed it. So it was attributed to the wrong year. It should be in 2026, and it got attributed to 2025. So the response, as I always say, there are 4 steps when you make a mistake. First step is you admit it, you apologize, you own it and look for a way to fix it, and you figure out a way to not do it in the future. So we're putting a mechanism in place where we're going to double check and look more closely at those prepaids, since this is a fairly new system for us, the way we're doing it, to assure that that doesn't happen again. So it technically isn't over budget, but these 2 things got attributed to the wrong year. And so we now know we need to be a lot more careful at that point where it splits between the old year and the new year. Any questions about that?
Is that something that we can adjust? Can we make that adjustment? I mean, we
I
got the
suspect-
auditors working on it right now.
We got the auditors working on
So,
it, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's seen it at this point. She's gonna be in Friday. We're gonna double check with her what she'd like us to do, because I don't want it to be seen that we're messing with things when she's coming in. That's kind of what Melissa had said when I mentioned it to her, because she obviously can make the changes, because you have to put in, you know, the password and everything to move, because the books are closed. But that is one of the invoices that Eileen wanted to see. So we'll be talking with her about that on Friday,
Yeah, okay.
so that she's aware of
So you
what
just have to be careful because, I mean, so you've got a transaction that's in the wrong period.
Yep.
So
So
that's-
what had happened is it's invoiced in December, and then it was paid in
No, I get it. I
So
get it.
that's
It's
kind of-
it's in the wrong period, so it's, you know, you're overstating one year and understating another year, and depending on materiality, you know, which we don't know and they won't tell us, you know, whether or not they could make an issue about
Right.
that. You know, my concern is, you know, last year we got a material weakness for audit adjustments, and I don't want them to see this and say, oh, well, you know, now we're gonna ding you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie and I were talking as well, and, you know, we're gonna put in some different placement options. This is a great report, that Melissa showed us how to run. So we were talking about before we close the end of next year, you know, after January, after the staff has gotten all of their invoices in for the past year and things like that, rerunning this report and be able to take a closer look at it. so that we can see.
Yeah,
where
before the
there's-
auditors get here, before you give it to the
Yeah.
auditors to
Yeah.
look at it and say, hey, is this right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's a mechanism we're going to put in place. I honestly think that one of the things that's really important about when you make a mistake and the transparency of it is when you see something that looks too perfect, it's because if there are mistakes, people are hiding them. And I would rather own up to the mistake and say, wow, we didn't mean to, it's something that we overlooked. Now, what mechanism do we put in place so that it doesn't happen again? Last year, we put in place this new system of doing the prepaids in order to make it more accurate. This one slipped by us. Now we are seeing where that hole is. There's a space where we need to put in a mechanism where we're catching it to make sure that we didn't overlook it, so.
Okay, is that, any more questions on that one? Okay, well
Yeah,
then let's look at.
I'm sorry, I have a couple of questions. I
Oh, go
didn't
ahead.
feed them to
Oh,
you
please do.
before, but I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Our property tax revenue is over by $239,507.16. How did that happen? Because the reason I say that is because property tax revenue is really easy to budget.
Is that the
As you
amount
know-
that was due to us the year previously and it didn't come in?
That's what I'm wondering.
I think it is, because it looks very familiar to me.
It looks
around that
very
amount.
familiar to me too. That's kind of where I was going. That could be a problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We got dinged about that last year. And if our revenue is overstated and the auditors have received this, that's a material audit adjustment.
Well, but I
right
think we
there.
talked to Eiley about it when it happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
how we were
were
going
through
to-
all
Okay.
that she was-
We asked her
Okay,
about
I
it
hope
because,
not.
well, because that's how it happened while she was here.
Yeah.
It literally happened when the township realized
Yeah.
that, because their ad valorem was wrong.
Right.
They gave us a draft ad valorem for
Oh,
an
I know
audit.
that, and I got it from their side too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
but we talked to Eiley about it at the time, like, what do we do with this? So,
Right, but they still wrote us up.
right,
Yeah.
we can't help the fact that the township did it.
No, of course not.
Didn't get it to
Of
us,
course not.
but, right.
Of course not. But if this is, I can see a scenario where that needed to go in and then need to be reversed out before this, so this number is overstated.
Yeah.
Um,
I think she had us leave it in there,
And-
though, because we didn't actually get it until 2025.
Well, the problem with property taxes are budgeted and recognized, they're recognized much as they're budgeted.
Right.
And because the problem that we had last year was because our property tax receivable and deferral wasn't booked correctly
Right.
because of this adjustment. And now this is kind of the flip side of it. This is what we call a turnaround effect of it.
Right.
So now you've got this overstated revenue, so.
Well, except that in this particular situation, they hadn't actually given us the money until 2025. This is the money that came late, is it not?
Pretty sure.
It is.
I mean,
It
yeah.
is, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we talked to Eiley about how to book it based on when we actually received it, because they didn't give it to us in the year they were supposed to. It was supposed to be, it should have been booked in 2024, but they actually didn't give it to us until May of 2025.
Right. Well, the other part that we're
So-
not seeing here, so we're just seeing profit and loss, we're not seeing a balance sheet. And the balance sheet is going to show us what that receivable is and what that deferral is, and that
Right.
was the problem last
Yeah.
year. So, I guess we just hope at this point,
Yeah.
or just work with them the best we can. Because I don't think the insurance thing is going to be a problem, but I'm positive that this revenue variance here is over materiality. They're going to consider that material. So,
Well,
okay.
we'll talk to him about it.
Yep, okay. And the other thing, okay, so that kind of answers part of my question. So we generated $586,000 increase in fund balance. Where does that put us in terms of fund balance? And are we gonna do something like do a commitment or an assignment of that money to kind of communicate intentions about what we're gonna do with it?
The policy is actually written that states that a particular percentage is considered fund balance and the rest of it is capital. So it's actually written into the policy that way.
Okay.
That it's the part that is not considered fund balance, which is a percentage, and I believe it's 18%. The rest of it is for capital projects.
Okay, so we're gonna show that commitment for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
for
policy.
capital. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Cool. Those
Is
are my
that
questions.
everything?
Yep, those are my questions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well then, let's move on to the review of the budget adjustments for the Friends contributions.
As presented at the library board in 2025, the library that's right. The library administrative staff is working with the Friends of the Library Board to develop a more streamlined system for handling sponsorship, memorial, donation, and wish list funds that come through the Friends, so that they can be tracked more efficiently through the library's accounting software. As the charity arm of the library, sponsorship and donor funds go through the Friends. The Friends now provide those funds to the library, and they are deposited into the library fund through revenue line 690, which is the Friends contributions. Budget adjustments that are needed to designate the budget line items from which these funds may be expended by library staff. The library's marketing staff has secured sponsorships for the summer reading program from Bowman Chevrolet, David W. Elliott Foundation, Meyer, Dordt Financial, and Vibe Credit Union. The Friends are also providing funds for summer reading field trip giveaways, donor view software, Star Wars Day programming, and new Little Free Library for Depot Park. Please note the funding from Vibe Credit Union has not arrived yet, so it will be provided by the Friends when they receive the check. A budget adjustment will be needed to designate these funds to 890.002. So when that Vibe check comes, it's specifically for the Children's Department. We are grateful to our sponsors and the Friends for this generous funding that makes our summer reading program so spectacular for the community. So the funds are providing this $17,000 check, $17,949.30. It gets deposited into 690, and then the budget adjustments that are needed. Now, we're not moving the money, but we're designating it to these line items. On the page, you can see in green, the Vibe Credit Union money hasn't come in yet. So the total money that would be coming in, including Vibe, is $19,449.30 minus that $1,500 that Vibe has not sent yet. So $17,949.30, and then the compiled budget adjustments there at the bottom. 890.001 is $5,000. 890.002 minus 5 is $5,389.95. 890.003 is $2,000. 890.004 is $2,559.35, and 890.006 is $3,000.
Is there any discussion?
So we're not budgeting for the Vibe money to come or go? We're basically just kind of removing it from the
We'll
equation?
bring it to you when we know we have it for sure. We haven't received the check, and so we just want to make sure. We did have one donor last year who said they were going to send the money and then didn't send it for months and months and months and months.
So there's a little bit of a concern about
I don't know that there is, but we just didn't want to commit to the money if it, for whatever reason, didn't come.
Got it.
So we'll circle back. You will be seeing wish list. So next month later this week is the wish list for the Friends. So they will be approving more donations toward various projects. And hopefully that Vibe money will come by the time we come back next month. So on the May 11th meeting, I'll probably be saying, hey, by the way, I've got this $1,500 from Vibe, and this is where I want it to go. I'm kind of giving you a heads up that it's coming. But we don't have that check yet, so I didn't want to commit to it. But you will be seeing the wish list money next month, so.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the budget adjustments for funds from the Friends as presented?
I move.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries.
So you give that one to Maggie, because you are.
Right, right. I was asking for a second, not
Oh, sorry,
seconding.
got it.
I know you hear me say second a lot, and I know. I was just looking for a second on that one. Okay, and the last item here is a request from the township to use the CIDL parking lot. Can we?
So Independence Township Parks Recreation Seniors has requested permission to use the library's parking lot for additional parking on June 27th for Independence Fest. This is something we have done in the past. However, the event used to be on July 4th when the library was closed. Independence Fest is now on the Saturday before Independence Day. The library will be open from 10 to 6 on that day. The township will provide shuttle service from the school administration parking lot and is requesting the use of CIDL parking lot as a backup overflow. They anticipate potentially needing to do this from 4 p.m. to midnight to accommodate crowds for the evening fireworks event. On June 27th, the library has programs scheduled from 12 to 1, 1:30 to 2:30, and 2:30 to 5:30. Because the last program begins before the township anticipates potentially needing the lot, the staff feels this should not create a parking issue for patrons attending the program. The lot would become more available as the library's end of day approaches and would become fully available at 6 p.m. when the library closes for the day. So I did talk to the staff. I'm like, are you sure you want to do this? And they said that they didn't think that it was going to be a huge deal or a burden. So. Okay.
Can I have a motion to approve the request?
I move.
And is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Meg. Okay, there's a motion to approve the request.
Putting a lot of
for-
obligation on me.
I know, I'm sorry. There's a motion to approve the request from Independence Township Parks and Recreation and Seniors to use the library parking lot on June 27th for overflow parking. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the last motion we need is one to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Okay. And we have a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting is adjourned at 8:14 PM.
Thank you.